see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Brian, and today is Wednesday, April 10th, 2024, and this is episode 637 of the Lots Project podcast, and it's titled Makes Total Sense, and I'll be chatting about my new USPS struggles, thoughts on our journey, and their spying on us. Let's check in with the live chat, see who's hanging out, jump over on the vertical feed, head over to Noster, see who's hanging around for the morning coffee crew, grab a cup and hang out for an hour. Then we'll get out of here and get on with our day. Good morning, good morning, morning. How's it going? Hunter in early. Good morning over on Twitch. Hopefully everything is good over there. Pickle Pete rolling in as we speak. Let me get over here on Noster. Nobody popping in on Noster yet. And just rolling through all these screens, getting them organized because we're trying some new things. We're going over to, I believe we're going over to the vertical video feed on YouTube again. Separate stream. So I'll keep an eye on the mic here this morning. Make sure it doesn't pop off again. I did have to... it is a little strange this morning because I did have to mute my intro music that normally plays, and I can hear it, and I do a bunch of other stuff at the same time. I get the show notes up, get this and that and everything kind of on the screen as the intro plays. Gives me that little bit of buffer time after we start. And then I can listen to it and know when I'm going to get back on the screen. Well, I'm having to figure out a solution because I'm getting with having it in two tabs and the feedback loop a little bit, I think. I'm not sure, maybe not, but I muted it. So I started the show this morning. It's like doop, 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 nothing, no sound. It was very awkward. Might throw me off. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, yeah, I got a few things to talk about this morning. I've been having an ongoing struggle with USPS lately, the Postal Service. I've been running into some issues with them. I'll speak to that and let you know. Yeah, Pickle Pete says spying. You don't say. Weird. I don't think that anybody that listens to this show would be shocked to find out that the government was spying on us. That there is confirmation. I'm pretty sure we get confirmation every few years. But yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit. And kind of look at our journey, Corey and I, and what we're doing here with traveling in the RV. Pretty much everything we've set out to do since we left our farm, and even before, really. And really just take a sky-high overview. And Corey and I have been doing a lot of talking lately. We got a lot of things in the works. We're getting excited about that. And we were just talking about if this has been a success, if this experiment that we decided to do, if this journey that we decided to launch on has been a success, if we feel it has. Now, anybody can say, well, you did it and it's a success. You said you wanted to go travel in an RV full time, and look where you are. We had a bigger plan laid out than that, and it's still in the works. By no stretch of the imagination are we done, but we're kind of at one of those points where you stop and you pump the brakes and you make some decisions and you decide if you're going to go left or right at the T. We're kind of at that spot, and so we're kind of looking back. We're evaluating what we've thought, how we've done, and give ourselves a grade, I guess. But we just kind of started having those conversations yesterday, and I threw it on the list to hit today. So that's what we got today. That's what we're going to be talking about, and hopefully you stick around and hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe. Good morning, Haas. How's it going? Haas says, wait, I can't be the only one here. On that vertical feed, I don't know how that's going to go over there, Haas. I pop over every once in a while, grab the comments, kind of switching back and forth. The vertical feed basically is an exposure thing, I believe, is what I'm looking at that for. Really going to focus in and keep focusing on the landscape, the morning normal show, the normal morning show as it's been going on for 672, this being 673 episodes. But over the course of the weekend at Self-Reliance Festival, I had some discussions with some people that know more than me about YouTube, know more than me about getting your stuff in front of eyes, growing subscribers, growing audiences, and this and that. And this is what came out of it. This isn't the only thing that came out of it, but one of the things was vertical feed integration, vertical live feed integration. So it's something that I started messing around with, and I had this idea. I had an idea to try it with StreamYard. StreamYard doesn't allow you to broadcast in two different directions at the same time, but messing around and using my brain, thinking outside of the box, we are doing some experimenting, and that's what this is. Yesterday and today has been an experiment. Pickle Pete asked if anyone else is there. I don't know who's hanging around this morning. It was light in the comments before the show. Maybe everybody disappeared. It was a day after the eclipse that everybody disappeared. You and me, Pete, were the only ones that didn't make it to the rapture, and Haas over on the vertical feed. Good morning, Pip. How we doing? Heading to St. Pete today. Enjoy your day in St. Pete. Wait. I guess with the Catholic Church, we don't want to be talking about enjoying your day in anyone. Especially, we'll leave that one alone. We will leave that one alone. Let's pop over here on Noster, and nobody over there yet. So anyway, forgot to talk about it first thing this morning. What is in the cup today? What do we have in the cup? Hector hanging out again this morning. Hector, the light Colombian from Food Forest Farms. Fantastic beverage every morning from Food Forest Farms. And man, I can't beat it. I tell you guys what I'm drinking every morning. I tell you guys what is in the cup, and it doesn't matter. I will tell you anything that comes from Brian over at Food Forest Farms is unbelievably fresh, usually roasted within a couple days of it hitting the mail, if not that day. Bagged up, sealed up, hit the mail on the way, and in your cupboard to enjoy every month. If you want to join the C4 Club with them, C4 Club or not, you're going to be getting some of the best prices on the internet for what the product is. It's a high quality premium air roasted coffee. Yeah, clean stream air roasted coffee that doesn't give you all the icky, nasty yuck that you get when it's in a exhaust stream of a gas burner. It just makes a great cup, and the man is a phenomenal human being. He can take your words, your description, and turn it into a taste, a smell, and an experience every time you grab a cup of coffee from Food Forest Farms. I highly suggest you try it out. Head on over lots 10. If you're listening to this audio at lots 10 over at checkout, one-time use 10% coupon. Use lots 10, LOTS 10. Already super low prices. I suggest you go buy it without a coupon, but 10% off to give it a try. Then you'll jump into the C4 Club, get this super exclusive pricing and all sorts of other benefits, and you get it mailed to you the 15th of every month. Best package I get every month is my Food Forest Farm C4 coffee box. I look forward to it every month, guys. Every month. Foodforestfarms.com. I'm talking about this coffee, and I'm like, man, that really sounds like something I wrote out and was reading. But legit, guys, I don't need to. This coffee is phenomenal, and man, you get me talking about it, and it's one of those things. Do you know when you're passionate about something? You know when something hits you and you enjoy it so much, you can just talk about it forever. That's what I have in Food Forest Farms coffee. So I don't need to write out an ad. I don't need to write out a script. I don't need to write out anything. I just know that the stuff is fantastic, and I suggest you give it a try. If you give it a try, I don't think you'll be able to honestly say it isn't better than any coffee you've ever had. I said it. There it is. Loco, good morning. Thanks for stopping in, Mr. Philippine Nomad. Mike, how's it going this morning, this evening, this afternoon? I'm guessing it's evening over there right now. Hopefully it's going good. I'm pretty sure I saw you doing an experiment with melting. Were you melting water in a car or something? I was trying to I caught it in passing, and I apologize. I didn't have enough time to drop in and kind of dig in. But I think you were defrosting water and doing some sort of experiment. It was hot. It was hot and humid, and I was like, I don't need to know about that. Um, Mike's Homestead, thanks for popping in, and Loco over on the vertical field. Mike said took a bit of swiping, but finally found it. So that it just automatically showed up in the vertical feed, Mike. Um, you didn't have to search it or anything. And I have questions because I haven't been able to watch it myself, like while I'm doing the show. I suppose I could pull my phone up and we could all sit here and just scroll on our phones and look for my show. But yeah, did it show up live? So just in motion, wherever it was in the show. Mike's asking, or Loco's asking, what's the vertical feed on your mobile? Yeah, it's supposed to populate in the shorts feed on YouTube, Mike. I'm sending it to YouTube as vertical, and it's supposed to show up as in the shorts feed. So I don't know if it's working. It's something I'm experimenting with that I talked about with a couple people at SRF this weekend. So shorts get pushed out to a different genre of people. So thought I would mess around, see if I could get it out through the same process and see what happens. He was measuring temp and humidity with his experiment that he was posting over in the Telegram group. So awesome. Anyway, let's get to the list. The list is it's not too bad today. Just wanted to share. Excuse me. Wow. Tickle in the throat there. Just wanted to kind of go over some issues I'm having. If you've listened to the show for quite a while, wow, I'm getting all jiggity jaggedy there. Huh. Our internet's starting to get worse. The leaves are coming in on the tree that was blocking it last summer when we got here, and we struggled to get the satellite in the right position. And finally, it started working really well, and we realized it was because the leaves dropped off that tree. Now we are coming back into spring, and the leaves are populating back in. So, hold on one second, guys. Mike's Homestead says I jumped to shorts when you addressed Haas. Probably scrolled through 50 until you popped up. Said watch live at the bottom of the screen. Nice. I like it. That was the whole intention. Perfect. Pip's blaming the chemtrails for my internet experience. Our internet issues. I think I'm going to blame the lasers that you said. Elon, was it you that said Elon was shooting lasers into the sky, or Blueberry over in the Telegram group? Pickle Pete says a pickle will stop that tickle. Maybe. Maybe. Anyway, if you've listened to the show for a while, you have kind of gone through the struggles with me of receiving mail on the road, not receiving mails. Blame it on the fake rapture event. Yeah, for sure. Not receiving mails on the road, receiving mail. And Pip's wondering which rapture event. So it's been an up and down. When we decided we were going to take off here, we went a very common route for full-time nomads, for full-time RVers that are selling their property. They're not going to have an address or anything, and we got our residency in South Dakota. We got a residency in South Dakota. We got our driver's license. We have a personal PMB, a personal mailbox. And so we've registered our vehicles. We've gotten our insurance. Everything is through the state of South Dakota. I don't have any other documentation. I don't have an address somewhere where I have like a secret mailbox or this or that. I mean, that is my mailbox. It's a PMB. It's a personal mailbox. Literally, I have signed a contract that I own a little square piece of that property out there in South Dakota, and I have a mailbox. That's where I live. I'm currently not there, but I intend at some point to come back to South Dakota. And if I haven't decided quite yet, in 5 years, I can go back and renew my driver's license and take care of all that stuff. I register my vehicles there. I send in my penance to Caesar every year and get my vehicle tabs with my South Dakota plates. I have South Dakota license plates. It's totally legit and legal. One way I can receive my mail is to my personal mailbox. Every time I receive mail to that address, I get an email that has a scan of the front of it. It has an option. I can have them throw it away. I can have them open it up and scan it to me. I can have them leave it alone. And when I choose, I can have them package it all up and mail it to wherever I am. Wherever I am. Or there is a system in place through the United States Postal Service. Well, option 2 would be receive mail where I'm parked. And we've done that. As we've traveled around, we've been on the road for, a year and a half now. I think. Year and a half? Yeah, I think a year and a half. Good morning, Rachel. Thanks for swinging in. Rewilder Life. Good morning. I need to get back on the schedule. I missed the morning laughs and friends. Yeah, it's we missed you around here. You bring joy to all of us when you're here too. So thanks for stopping back in and getting back in that habit. But the second option is receiving mail where I'm at. We've done that a couple times, different places we've stayed. Our MO with traveling was usually we would travel a day and then stay for a week. We would plan out routes. My beautiful bride, she works daily remotely. So we need to sit down for the week. She logs on remotely, works, and then on the weekends we were traveling. We've gotten here where we're at now, and we stayed for a while. I'm going to address that a little later with kind of the recap of where we're at. But when we got here, we have an address. We have an address here. Like I put it in the GPS. That's how we got here. It took us right to this address. But there's no mailbox. There's no mailbox. And I found out when we got here that USPS will not deliver a parcel or package of mail to an address without a mailbox. You could have a house there. You could have your front yard. You could have every place in the world to set it down, and they won't deliver it. It'll just get returned to sender. Luckily, the local delivery person knew that I was here the one time I tried it and let me know. And I was able to get the package. But there's another process that you can use. I've contemplated talking to the landowner to put up a mailbox, but I don't know if that messes with kind of his status of what kind of property this is, because we're just kind of we're renting a spot basically to park our trailer. I don't know if that changes anything, how that affects things. So I chose to use another method, which is called general delivery. The United States Postal Service has been around a long time. It's been around a long time, and it was around longer than people have had mailboxes at their house. There's a large amount of people that have been travelers, been nomads and things in this country, whether it be homeless by choice or by circumstance or whatever. There's always been a mechanism for those people to receive mail, to receive correspondence. Well, that message is, or that that way you do that, that method you use is called general delivery. Basically, you send packages or letters or whatever to the local post office, the one closest to you or the furthest from you. But anyway, you address it general delivery to the post office and put your name on it, hold for pickup for me or my wife or whoever. And when it arrives to that postal station, instead of going into a vehicle and going on to the mailbox, they just hold it there. They don't call you, or I mean, they can if you arrange that with them, but they just hold it. They hold it. Now I'm going on my research. They hold it for anywhere from a week to 30 days, 30 days max. They write on it and they write the date. And that's perfectly fine. I go to the post office every day to check to make sure if I have mail or not. And that's just kind of how it works. They just hold it. You pick it up. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I think that it's easier than even if I had a PO box or if I was asking them to deliver it to me. The postage is paid on the sender end. They're getting their money. Now, I would think that that would be a preferable method for the post office, to just take it to the local post depot and leave it there. They don't have to do any work in putting it in a PO box. They don't have to gather it in the back if it doesn't fit. I think I'm gonna have to start messing with the internet. Um, so they yeah, I think it's less work. I think it's convenient for me. But I think it's also convenient for the employees and it's cost savings. So we've been here for just about a year, and that's kind of what is that trigger point I talked about this morning, where we're coming up to that T and we're deciding if we're going to make a turn left or right. And it's kind of coming to a head, and it's great. I mean, it's all coming together, and it's not going to be a big issue. We're working through it. But the other day, I walked into the post office. Now, when I got here, there was a postal employee, and she was there the majority of the time. She was a veteran employee. She was super nice. Was interested in what I was doing, what I had going on. I would bring her coffee samples. I would bring her little toys and trinkets, things that I got, here, there, and the other thing. So we interacted very well. I was friendly to her. She was a nice woman. I still talk to her. I hear her on the phone with the new lady, and I always yell out, "Hello, how you doing?" And she knows who I am by voice. She had to move. Move locations, and so they hired a new girl. Again, super nice. The interim people were super nice. They were always nice to me. They have no problem. And the new person started, and so she's getting trained. I talk to her. I'm nice to her. I'm courteous to her. I'm getting to know her because I go there every day. I get packages every day. And the other day, now you have to understand that there was somebody at another post office when I arrived here. And now I don't know this woman or man or whoever it is. I don't know them. But my contact, the person I was talking to, that old vet of a postal employee, was like, there's some problems up above in another post office. The person thinks that they're bigger, a little bigger post office kind of controls everything. And they were like holding my mail in the mail at different locations because they thought that's what was supposed to happen, or they wanted to exert some control or something. And my representative at the local post office basically said, no, 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 no. You deliver the mail to the address on the package, which was the local post station. So this was relatively soon after I got here, and it got straightened out real fast. She made a phone call, and I wouldn't want to mess with her. She was pretty solid person all around, but I don't think she takes any shit from anybody. So that kind of smoothed out, and I didn't have any hiccups for pretty much a year. Well, with this new employee, one day she says, "Well, I need to talk to you," and she's like all super nervous, and I'm like, "What do you got? What do you got going on?" I mean, I'm 6'5". I'm a big dude. I got a deep, loud voice that's kind of intimidating, and she's a tiny little woman. I don't think she is. I don't think she's a scaredy cat by any means, but she was very nervous to talk to me about it. And she says, "There's some people above me. There's some people in the post office making noise about you getting general delivery. And they've told me that there's a time limit on it." And I'm like, "Oh." And I hadn't looked in my notes. Like, I took pretty good notes when I was planning out this whole thing. Like, mail is kind of an important thing to make sure you got locked down when you're going to go travel around for the rest of your life. And I didn't know of any time limit other than how long that they'll hold the package on site. And that was 30 days. Other than that, I didn't see anything. Now, the site said this is not intended to be a permanent solution. This is not a PO box replacement, blah blah blah, all that. And I understand that. And in my honest outlook, this isn't a permanent solution. What is permanent? Is a year permanent? Because we're planning on moving in the very near future. So obviously a year wasn't permanent. So it's all semantics. And right there it says there is no specified time limit that you can use this service. It's all ambiguous, you know. And I'm sure in there somewhere is like, it's at the discretion of blah, blah, blah. Whatever. And so somebody started blah, 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 blah. And my new employee here is on a 30 or a 90-day probationary period, like most employees, especially government employees. And she's nervous. She's not my old crusty vet that will say, "Screw you, deliver the mail. The guy's not hurting anything." And so she said that they said there's a limit. I was agreeable. I said, "Well, let me get a post office box. I'm not going to mess with it at this point. I have an income stream coming through the mail with products to do reviews on. That's how I'm making money." I'm like, "Okay, well, I can take $50 of it and get a PO box for 6 months or a year. Whatever. I don't care. I don't want to cause waves. I don't want to cause waves for the new employee. I don't want to cause any. I just want to make it through the time I'm here." And I say we're moving. We've decided we'll be moving close enough that if I needed to go over and check my PO box once a month or once a week or once a month for a year, it wouldn't be a big deal. So I was like, "Whatever. How much is a PO box?" She's like, "It's like $80 for the year." I'm like, "Sold. Let's do it. Get done with it." Now that we are starting to have a plan. I didn't want to pay for 6 months or a year when we didn't know if we were even going to stay here 5 more weeks. I thought it'd be a solution. So she calls, she's like, "Hey, I got to figure out how to do a PO box. I've never done it before. I'll get the instructions and we can do it tomorrow. Is that okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. Just keep holding my mail, please." So I come back the next day. Rewilder Life says, sounds like she's more afraid of losing a job with Benny's. I mean, I can't blame her. A job at all in this area. A job at all. Hunter says, get the smallest mousehole of a P.O. box so they still have to hold it. Well, that's the kind of the funny part. One of the funny parts. So I come back the next day. And I got my driver's license and all that. Like, I'm thinking to myself, what information could you literally need to get a P.O. box? Literally, I hand you money, you hand me a key, and I have a box that I can send letters and packages to. Figure I got to pay a deposit for the key, return the key, get the deposit back. It's an application form. It's like a 4-page application form. Name, address, 2 forms of ID, blah, 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 down the list. I was like, yeah, well, it is what it is. I got to do it. And so Mike over on the vertical feed says, I would think that would become a mess if they had 20, 50, 100 doing general delivery. Not your problem, but space and organization could get tricky. Yeah, but not if they had done that from the beginning. I think the post office would probably be a net positive if they had just built into the system not having to do these drivers, have these drivers, and everybody just had to go to the post office to pick up their mail. Weird. Let's roll it back. Rewilder Life says blood donation. I'm going through this with construction loan. How dare you are self-employed or live outside our systems? Yeah, okay. So I'm filling out this application and I'm kind of grumbling to myself. I'm like, I was like, I got the vehicle insurance and registration in the truck. I got my driver's license. It all matches. It's all in line. It should be no problem. Thanks for stopping in over on Facebook, Mike. I appreciate making the rounds. Anyway, Pickle P says the last mile is 50% of the cost. Right. And the end customer doesn't pay shit. So this should be a win-win-win-win-win. And we'll be a net positive. I figured out how to make the post office profitable. Anyway, I'm filling out this form and I'm like, man, I don't really want to do this, but whatever. I know the post office sells your fucking address to everybody under the sun. When you do a change of address form, when you do any sort of updating with the post office, they take your address faster than you can submit it to them and sell it to all sorts of lists. You ever wonder when you change your address, when you move, and all of a sudden you all get all that junk mail all of a sudden? Yeah, that's because the fucking post office sells your address. Just so you know. They won't tell you they are. It's in all the fine print. So I'm like, I really don't want to dick around with junk mail at my PMB because I have to go through the motions of having them shred it. If it's one of those junk mail envelopes that looks almost like it might be something that you want, but you're pretty sure that it's not, but it might be like a card, a new debit card, so it was nondescript, so nobody stole it. Now I have to pass me fucking money to get rid of junk mail. So I was really hesitant to give them my PMB address because I knew the instant they put it in the computer, it was sold. So I fill out the paperwork. I bit my tongue. I'm like, this is just how it has to be to make it work. I'm making money doing this. I hand her the thing. She goes over to the computer. She starts putting it in. PMB addresses are not allowed. All right. If you've been listening carefully to the show, you realized I said earlier that I have a PMB. My vehicle's registered to that address. My residency is at that address. My driver's license has that address. My car insurance has that address. My everything has that address. I don't have another address. And the P.O. box requires 2 forms of ID. I have several forms of ID with an address that they won't accept. So my address that I have is good enough for the state of South Dakota to give me residency, to register my vehicles, to get my insurance, to do everything I need to do. But the United States Postal Service won't allow me to use that address or any forms of ID with that address to purchase a place to get my fucking mail, because they stopped letting me get it in the manner that I was getting it, which causes them less work than getting the fucking post office box. Makes sense. Makes all the sense in the world, doesn't it? Free Wilder Life says, no wonder they're losing money. Well, not only that, they've taken their employees' time. I've been there. I've literally been there in person, probably 2 hours total doing this. We're like through a couple of days. So their employees been tied up with doing this for 2 hours at least, plus all the time that she's been worried about it, because she's obviously physically, she's actually worried about it. She doesn't want to lose her job. I get it. There's no fucking jobs around here, and she's got a job with the post office. As much as I hate government employees, like, I don't hate money. She lives like 2 doors from the post office. She walks to work. Like, I wouldn't want to lose that job easier. Literally, she sits behind the desk. It's a small town post office with like 200 people in the town. She works like 11 to 4 Monday through Friday and like 2 hours on Saturday. Give me a fucking break. I get it. I know she doesn't want to lose her job. So I'm like, what the fuck do you want me to do? I said, I can't do this right now. I got other shit to do after I've been there for an hour again. And I said, I'll try to find a different address to use. I'll try to find a different address to use. Maybe my in-laws. You know, like some banking things, you got to kind of, or you got stuff in a hurry, or you're mailing stuff one off, you kind of mail it to an address. I was thinking maybe my in-laws, we could swing this. And I went home. I started looking at the form, and there was no way I'd be able to swing it because I don't have any ID other than that address that they won't accept. So, good morning, Hanging Laundry and Chris Dixon popping in. Chris Dixon says, I could see if the stuff was COD, but the postage is paid. That's my thing. The postage is already paid, and it has to go less distance. It doesn't even need to go into a post office box. She literally, when she gets my packages, sets them next to the counter. She doesn't have to get up from her desk. Like, if she's on the phone or something, if she's busy when I get there and she's not right at the counter, I literally can walk up to the counter and lean over it and look down and see if I have any packages. She doesn't even need to come to the counter. If I have enough of them, if I have like 2 and they're stacked, I can reach down and grab the top one. If she put a little table or a stool there, she wouldn't even need to get up. Like, I literally could walk in and reach in and grab my packages and walk out the door, no problem. That's how easy it is. She knows my name. She knows who I am. The last one had my phone number. Oh, internets. Man, it's just it's mind-boggling and infuriating to deal with shit like this. Especially for me. Like, I don't like the government to begin with. I don't like bureaucracy to begin with. And then you this bullshit on top of it, and I'm like, really? So I thought for a minute. And I did what we do in this community. I thought of a different way to make it happen. And I found a local community member. I found a couple local community members, and I reached out and I said, hey, man, do you mind if for the short term I get some packages at your place? I turned off my free product stream to do reviews on. I had a pretty decent stack to kind of hold me over for a while. I turned off that so it's not a ton of mail going to my friend's house. I have a few packages I get every month that I just need or want, but the random products showing up, I stopped requesting them. I'm going to try to figure that out. I'm going to try to figure out this and that, but it's just like, really? Why? What problem was it causing the supervisor at another branch? What problem was it causing the local person? So they get me to get a P.O. box, and now she has to grab the box and walk over and try to put it in the box. And when it doesn't fit in the box, she's got to fill out a slip. She puts the slip in the box. I come up and I take my key and I open the box. I grab the slip. I walk over to the counter. I hand her the fucking slip. And instead of everything before that whole process, now she hands me the package. Pip says, stop living outside the system and get back in line, or we're going to mess with your mail. Yeah. So I just turned off. Rachel says, I thought they made money when you bought and shipped stuff. I literally was getting at least one box of mail, one box a day. I don't know. I can pull them out here. Let's see this one. This one showed up. It didn't cost me anything, but let me see if it's commercial post. I don't know if it's got the shipping on it. Nah, it doesn't have the price on here like a normal package, but package a day. What do they cost? A couple bucks? $2, $3, $4. Sometimes they get 4 or 5 packages in a day. Sometimes they get 1. Sometimes they get 0. 20. Let's say an average of 8 packages a week at $2. That's $15 a week that they're not going to get off of me. I'm not going to rent a fucking P.O. box from them because they won't take my address. So that's $80 a year they can't get from me. Whatever. They'll just raise taxes to keep the post office open. Pickle Pete says $15 for a medium box. Hunter says, I sent a package to Tennessee and it cost me $11 and some change. I'm not getting letters from these companies. I'm getting packages, parcels. 98% of them come USPS and 2% come UPS or FedEx or DHL. Just throwing money away. It's almost like they don't have a budget problem or something. Makes total sense, doesn't it? So fuck it. I don't know. Just irritating. And I'm trying to be cordial about it. Because I understand it's not the new girl's fault. I understand it's not her fault. And she's a really nice person. So I don't want to fuck with her. I don't want to make her life miserable. I don't want to make her listen to her boss. Because I'm not a dick like that. I don't want to have people fucking with my mail. Because if I got products coming, if I have products coming from a company and they decide, yeah, fuck you, you're not going to get it. then the company is expecting me to make content about it, expecting a return from the value that they sent me, and I don't have the product. And there's only so many times I can go, well, the post office lost it, or the post office didn't deliver it, until my account gets flagged for this guy just requests products and never does any content. Pickles Pete says, go find the dick on the phone. I don't know if I want to talk to the guy. I don't think I do. I think I would have a lot to say. And I don't think he would like what I had to say. And I'd probably end up interacting with law enforcement that day. Not because I would commit violence or anything, but I think that they would feel threatened. Because they really feel threatened when you question their stupid rules that don't make sense. So, nah. That's my USPS struggles right now. So right now, I appreciate you, Jamie. I appreciate you, Jamie, and snagging that mail for me. Hunter says it won't matter. Rewilder Life says, no, don't need 2 government agencies in your life. I already have enough problem with the local popo around here. They like sniffing around me because I have a South Dakota license plate. So I don't need any more problems. Pip says the manager wants to intimidate the newbie so his job could be more simple. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah. Go talk to the Postmaster General just doing their job. Oh, Pickle Pete has a government battle today. T-minus 6 hours for his zoning fine appeal. Anyone want the Zoom to watch me do battle? That 6 hours. So we're looking at what is that, like 1 o'clock Central? I'll probably be in the middle of Kroger. I don't want to be walking through Kroger laughing hysterically. Anyway, we'll hit up real quick. I just want to put this picture up real quick. We'll hit it, and then I'll talk to you about what we've been thinking about our journey here. Man, guys, the government is spying. Oh shit, I never followed through on that part. Share screen window. Where are you? There it is. Here we go. The government is Logo says put it on StreamYard. Put it on YouTube for the world to see, Pete. I ran across this yesterday. The government's spying on us, guys. Woo! News alert, news flash. If you've been under a rock since 2001, when the Patriot Act came into play, and likely before that, but like when they actually said, hey, we're going to make it legal for us to do this shit. The government's spying on us. Steve Baker here and Patrick Webb had a tweet popped up. Patrick Webb was the original tweet. Says the federal government has been illegally surveilling and building profiles of Americans in a secret portal called DSAC for those who oppose firearms restrictions, lockdown and vaccine mandates, and or support border security, and are labeling them as domestic extremists. Steve Baker's reply says these profiles shouldn't exist and are most certainly illegal. That said, I hope you're all on the list. Be proud and loud about your pro-Second Amendment position and your opposition to lockdowns or any kind of medical mandates. We need 2 million. We need 2 million sending the feds that message. Well, I hope the feds don't use general delivery because they won't get the message. Oh. Pickle Pete says he's might wear his bear costume to his zoning board. What are you trying to are you trying to just show up and they're like, yeah, we can't deal with this crazy fucker? Oh, Pip's a domestic tourist. Guys, don't worry about it. If you listen to this show, you're already on a list, just so you know. I have to assume. Just because you tuned in. I've over the 673 episodes we've had here, I've hit the majority of the I've definitely hit the majority of the buzzwords. I am shocked that I haven't had a haven't had a PB slap from the YouTube police at any point. I mean, yeah, maybe there isn't enough isn't enough traffic on my channel or something that I'm flying under the radar, but I have to feel that I am list worthy. Pickle Pete says I'm list worthy. Nice. Anyway, guys, just so you know, if you like guns or you don't want to get poked with mystery substances, or you may think, so here's my thing on the southern border. And it's a weird thing as an anarchist. I don't care if all these people come here, but stop paying them. Stop taking my money. Stop taking my wife's money. Stop taking my family's money. Stop taking my friends' money in the form of taxes, whether that's income, sales, or whatever, and giving it to people that come here, or giving it to people that are already here. Just stop taking my fucking money. And I don't care who's here. I don't care who's coming in. I don't care who's going out. I don't care. It's an imaginary line on a piece of paper. Maybe there's a body of water there that separates it, and that's what's convenient to draw the line over. But you do you. You come here, you come and go as you please, but stop paying them. Can't have open borders and open welfare. You can't have open borders and have any welfare, really. Erase the line and erase the tax, and we'll all figure it out. Pickle Pete says, walk wherever you want, just not across my land. There you go. But this is our country, Pete. America. Got to keep them wetbacks out. Some of my best friends in the world don't live in this country. Glad they can come in. I don't care about the border. I just thought them to stop taking my money. Anyway, Corey and I, like I said, I can't talk a lot about it right yet because it's not really cemented in or final or anything, but we got some decisions coming up. Corey and I, when we decided to do this, when we decided to leave our farm. So this is way back, probably 2 years before we started building out this trailer, or more, maybe 2.5 years. Corey and I were done with Minnesota. We had done our homestead there for 5 years. We had been through 5 pretty bad winters. 2 of them were okay, not horrible, but a couple of them were really bad. Whether it was just a shit pile of snow, early snow, late snow, super cold, like all the things you get in Zone B3 or 3B. We had enough. We realized that we didn't like the cold. We didn't like the 2 months of reasonably nice weather. We didn't like the short growing seasons, like everything that comes along with it. We were just like, this is not the right place for us to build this type of life. As we get older, as it gets harder, as it gets more difficult, as we want to slow down, having to rush around and doing everything in 4 months a year is just stupid. So let's go somewhere where we can do it in 7 months a year. Because we pulled it off self-sustaining wise, like producing our food. We never really got to the point where we were making money, selling it to other people. It was very limited what you could produce in 4 months. So if we ended up getting 3 extra months a year, which Tennessee and South is at least 3 extra months a year to grow things, to be outside, to do things. If we could get 3 extra months a year as we progressed in age and we could slow down, we could still take care of ourselves. The winters wouldn't be as brutal. The summers, warm is a lot easier to deal with than cold in most cases. But we didn't want to be in Minnesota. We knew that. I've told the story a bunch of times. We wanted to just move to maybe Idaho, in the mountains of Idaho, in the banana belt, blah, 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 somewhere. And we realized that we didn't know where we wanted to go, that neither of us had gone exploring. Neither of us had really lived anywhere else, except I lived in Western New York and I wasn't going back to New York. So we said, hey, let's do a travel trailer and travel around and find some place to buy a property, and then buy another one, and then buy another one, and see how it goes. So that was the general loose idea of what we were going to do in this. So as we took off, we said, hey, when we find our home base. Now, the idea of the Lots Project is having multiple lots, multiple areas. But the intention is to have one that we could always go back to. That first one, we wanted it someplace that if shit went sideways, if shit hit the fan, if the apocalypse came, if we lost our jobs, blah, 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 we were prepared. If our trailer blew up, if our truck broke down, whatever, we had enough money in our emergency fund. We had enough plans. We had a SOP. We had all of it figured out, that no matter where we went in the country, we could get back to home base. No matter if we were out exploring, we were at one of our other properties, didn't matter. We could always get back to home base. If we had enough money to buy a shitbox beater and enough food and resources to get back to our home base, that's good. We were going to have a cache or set up here that it would, or wherever, that it would be easy to do to get fired up again. We could walk away. We were going to set up perennial systems. We were going to set up infrastructure to make it work. That was going to be the MO, building out that home base. We wanted to make sure it was the right place that we could easily be there all year round. Well, in order to do that, I'm not going to look at USDA zone maps and blah, 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 and weather predictions and forecasts. I want to be here for a year. And now I understand that being here for 1 year doesn't make every year, that it could be super warm winter, super cold winter, and blah, 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 on and on and on. What if, what if, what if? But if you spend a year in a place, you usually get a general idea. You talk to the locals, you get more intel. Well, it's coming up on a year, guys. Literally right about now, it's been a year that we've been parked here. It has been trying. Corey and I talked the other day, and we haven't really talked about it much, but neither of us are happy sitting here. And it's not that it's Tennessee. It's not that we're in the RV. It's not that we're in a neighborhood. It's nothing other than the fact that when we planned on living in the RV and adopting and adjusting our lifestyle to live in this, like, you've been in an RV. It's not the most luxurious or comfortable place to live. It was a means to an end. It was a man, if I can travel around and be in a new place, I can deal with a lot of shit. If I can get outside wherever I go, I don't have to have an inside. Being able to make the inside irrelevant. It's a place to sleep. It's a place to store your stuff. In our current situation, we're kind of in a place where it's not really comfortable to be outside. Not necessarily weather-wise, but we're in a neighborhood, and we've talked about the yard art. We've talked about some other things. We're kind of packed in here, and it's not like I want to go sit outside and enjoy myself. But we wanted to experience a year. This place, Hunter says, can we grow food? Can we afford it? Does the post office cooperate? Are the locals friendly? Yeah, pretty much. And that's another thing. We can't be progressing here. I can't put in a garden here. I mean, I could, but it's not mine. I can't build a structure here. I can't work on anything here. I can't do it. I mean, it can, but it can't. But we wanted to be here for a year. And we have been. And so now we're making a decision. And we decided we wanted to stay here. This is where we want to put our home base, in this general area, not like where we're sitting right now, in the general area. And we're starting that process. We have multiple options that we're considering. We have some really, really, really fantastic options. You guys wouldn't even understand how excited we are about the different options we have. But we're at that point. We've made it. And we look back and said, you know, we're sitting in this kind of neighborhood on this lot, and we appreciate our landlord so much. The rent is fantastic. They're gracious, and everything is fantastic here. I don't have a bad word to say other than it just isn't right for us. But the area is. We like it. The weather's right. It's what we need for what we planned on wanting. So we're looking. We got some options. None of them are 100% exactly what we want. That would be impossible to find. And if we could find it, I probably couldn't afford it. But we're pursuing options. We are starting the engine again, not necessarily starting the truck engine again. We're not going to travel for a while. We've decided we're going to stay here. We're going to put some time into a project here, and then move on and do it again. Maybe we put the 2 to 5 years here building home base and realize home base is where we want to be home. We don't know. We're still open to that. But I think it was a really big motivator when we started having the discussion, and you get kind of bogged down. A year is a long time. And a year is a long time to deal with stuff that you really didn't realize that was bothering you. That the trade-off for living in the trailer was the traveling, was the experiencing new things, was the seeing new things, was the spot we had in Texas where we had 600 acres to go wander. We had sand walking trails and beautiful nature and pine forests. Chris Dixon says, you realize you're 5 years older, and do you really want to do it again? Well, we would definitely do it different. Definitely do it different. Way smaller, way more mobile. Now that we're going to start having a home base, it'll be easier to range out and pop up another home base and travel between them, because it doesn't necessarily have to be home base anymore. Now it can be summer base or winter base, seasonally right places. And we won't need everything we own because we'll have someplace to secure the things that we have. So there's a lot of possibilities there. But we felt a little bit, well, I did. I felt like we haven't accomplished much since we left. We traveled to, well, before we left, but since we've been on this journey, we've traveled to Washington, we've traveled to Texas, we've traveled to Tennessee a bunch of times. We've built community. We've talked to community on the road. We've met in person with people that we've met people that we knew prior on the road and ran into, and we also learned a ton. So right there, we've accomplished a lot. But Corey said something to me the other day that really hit home and really made me realize that we are on the right course, that we are on the path that we set forth. That we said we wanted to do a little traveling, that we said we wanted to see some things, and then we wanted to find a spot to sit down and find a year and stay a year and experience a year and then build a home base and then go do it again. That was our intention when we left. When we rolled out of the driveway and we hadn't even sold our farm yet, that was our intention. And here we are. I think it gets hard to see when it's such a long-term cycle. We literally committed to ourselves to do nothing for a year. Not do nothing. Corey works every day. I'm trying to build income streams. We're not doing nothing. But we're not traveling. We're not progressing. We're not building anything. And that's what we had done for 7 straight years. or longer, really. So it's a lot of perspective. And when we sit back and say, sitting and doing what we did for the last year was exactly what we intended to do, it makes it okay. Makes it okay. So we're at that point. We've hit our year. We've accomplished our goal. We're exploring options, like I said, and I think we'll have announcements here soon. I don't know what soon means. Probably like the post office and their how long you can receive general delivery. It's soon. Soon we're going to cut you off. Soon I'm going to let you guys know what we're doing. We got a pretty solid plan coming together, and we're just going to work that plan and keep doing it. And whenever I get down, I always just have to talk to my wife. She's got words of wisdom for me that keep me going and make it okay. Even if it isn't okay, she makes it okay for me. Because that's what she does. I love her to death. Would rather not do this with anybody I've ever met in my life than my wife. How bad could it be then? How bad could it be? Anyway, let's wrap it up, guys. We're a little after. Went a little long here. Just wanted to get that out and talk about it. Yeah, I appreciate everybody listening. I appreciate everybody hanging out and enjoying. I hope you enjoyed the show. It's always free to scroll down, hit that like, hit the share, hit the subscribe. To return value for value, please consider joining one of the YouTube membership tiers or listening on any value for value platform. If you check out the audio, you can check it out on Podverse or Fountain.fm. You can also swing over and watch the show live on Nostr. Not a ton of people over there, so I don't crack into the comments much over there at this point, but the more people use it, the more I will be streaming over there, the more I will be grabbing comments and sharing them as much as I can. So grow Nostr. I appreciate anybody that pops over there. If you need help getting on Nostr, any help with beginner Bitcoin or things like that, or you're looking for discount codes, product partner companies, and the such, you can head over to thelotsproject.com and find all my information and all those links. Other than that, guys, I really had a good time. Really had a good time chatting with you guys this morning. I hope you have an awesome hump day. I hope you get through it. I hope you get a bunch done. And when we come back together tomorrow morning, we're going to be on the downslope for the week. Knock it out of the park, guys, today. Have a great day. I'm going to be going to get some groceries, do some laundry, and figure out where to get my mail. Have a great day, guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow.